essay is a type of written text students are asked to write at both undergraduate and postgraduate levels. University assignments often ask you for an essay, but there's a wide range of other kinds of academic texts, like these. A word of warning, however, each one of these might be called an essay, because people often use it to mean any piece of academic writing. But each of these requires a different type of text. So what do they want from you? Well, if it's a case study or business report, it'll have a clearly defined and well-known structure. And assignment instructions will usually give you the main structure with headings to use for sections, like these for the body of a report. But other texts, like the traditional essay, don't have a clearly defined structure. So if an assignment asks for an essay but doesn't give you a structure, you have to work it out yourself. That's the type of essay we're focusing on here. To understand what's required in an essay, it helps if you recognise 4 main functions or types of academic writing. Some essays require 1 or 2, others all 4. The most basic type is descriptive writing. This is where you reproduce knowledge from your reading or research about some object of study or topic, usually in summary form. Describing includes recounting happenings as well as reporting others' words or ideas and describing things. This short paragraph describes malware. Hit the spacebar to pause your video. First, it tells us what it is, it defines it, and then it lists one after the other what it includes. All academic texts include description, recounts or reports, but that's never enough. Academic writing also needs to be analytical. So not just describing or summarising in list what you read, but organising or reorganising information or ideas by grouping them, by relating them to each other and to your assignment question. You need to select certain facts and ideas as most relevant, then categorise these, compare and contrast these, and so on. Hit the space bar to read this analytical text. Here the writer has organised the ways of spreading malware she's read about by categorising them into 2 main ways. She further categorises the first way by grouping emails into 2 kinds. Here's a diagram of the student's analysis of how malware spreads. It's a 2-level classification or categorisation of ways of spreading malware. But description hasn't disappeared from this analytical text. It's inside each category. So the longest description in this text is for the second way of spreading malware. Here the writer gives an example of an internet download and includes a recount. She tells us 2 things that happened during the download. In most essays, writing descriptively and analytically aren't enough either. You also need to write persuasively. That means you have to take a position, have a point of view on the information or ideas you're writing about. And then you need to argue for that position by providing supporting evidence. This is the classic definition of essay, presenting and arguing for a position on some topic. This persuasive text is about changing the laws relating to cybercrime. Hit the space bar to read it. In the first sentence, the writer presents her position on this by saying changes in the law should be very carefully considered. She then clearly signals she has 2 main arguments for this position. We can only see the first one here, and its supporting evidence is signalled both at the beginning of a sentence, in evidence shows, and in numbered footnotes, which each refer to specific studies in the literature. So this is the basic structure of a persuasive text. First present a position on a topic, and then present a number of arguments, with evidence supporting each one. But analysis too is inside this persuasive text. Right? It's in the writer's organisation of the argument into 2, which she signals clearly with the words firstly and secondly. It's also in the writer's organisation of evidence in the first argument around 2 criteria. First, laws where change isn't needed, and second, laws where only a little change is needed. And description, of course, is also here, inside each category of the analysis. These 3 dots indicating sentences left out are where we have left out the writer's summaries of information or ideas from references. But it's not over yet. As you progress in your essay writing, writing persuasively may not be enough either. You might have to write critically as well. That means challenging other researchers' positions and arguments, as well as persuading them of your own position. So in a critical essay, you need to persuade readers there are problems in someone else's position, as well as persuade them that your alternative position is better. So hit the space bar to read this text. From sentence 3 onwards, you will have seen it's the same persuasive text you saw earlier, but this one begins differently. First, the writer summarises another researcher's position from the literature in sentence 1, before she goes on to challenge it by calling it too extreme. Then she presents her own position as an alternative, the one we saw earlier, and she argues for this using the same analytical organisation and descriptive summaries as in the simpler persuasive text. So critical writing, found in research articles, books, theses, and essays, always has embedded in it the other 3 types of writing. Persuasive writing arguing for a position on a topic, analytical writing organising the argument and evidence, descriptive writing summarising ideas and information from external sources. The other videos in this course will focus mostly on analytical and persuasive writing, which are both required in all university essays from undergraduate to postgraduate.